You won't know who I am from what you perceive. But if you listen when we speak, then you will receive a glimpse of who I am. And then you'll believe and have a life of peace, because your soul is at ease. You see, our source is the essence of which this world is conceived, which means that we were here before the bird and the beast. Now, if you have not guessed, I am eternity. But now, if you have guessed and you guessed correctly, that simply means we share the same destiny to realize we are the God and Trinity that is talked about in Christianity. Now some will say that vanity or go as far as insanity. It's because they believe in Western theology. But as we see, we choose ancient Kemetic philosophy. Not to say that's the only path to immortality. That's the path for we, this life. You see, as we devote our life to helping others be free, so they in turn can reach their full divinity. And this is done because of the he in I and the I in he. Peace and wholeness.
All right. Greetings and heavenly salutations to all. Welcome to a broadcast of Metaphysical Mondays on a Tuesday. Right? Metaphysical Mondays on a Tuesday. And what does that look like? Well, being as though Monday, yesterday, was the day that was the day scheduled for the Metaphysical Monday broadcast. However, there was a little bit of scheduling conflict. Just to be transparent, on Mondays, my person actually holds space at Temple Mother Earth in Washington, D.C. For an event called Microdose Mondays. And Microdose Mondays is a way for those individuals who either are off into psilocybin, magic mushrooms, and or are open to it or curious about it. It's a way to experience a day, a work day, strong day, in an environment of creativity, where you can either get your work done or relax, or however you choose to express it, in a safe space environment with a microdose of psilocybin mushroom. And even though my person does hold space for that event, in the past, if there were people here, my person would still be able to get away for half an hour, because that's just the way it flows. However, this past Monday, yesterday, there was a couple of individuals that came that was brand new to the mushroom experience, as well as to the spiritual journey experience. So my person, in a sense, was, in the most beautiful sense, babysitting, big brother babysitting, which is very warming felt good. So just want to give a transparency on why we're broadcasting today on this Tuesday as opposed to on Monday. And at the same time is currently sharing the feed to social media platforms. Hence, this is what's happening right now. Not seeing us live. At any rate, we're just going to go ahead with this transmission. So, Thanksgiving and your health, right? Getting right up into it. First off, we're going to just start with the obvious, right? With the obvious. And what that obvious is, we're going to talk about food, right? Because generally speaking, when you talk about Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving, one of the first things that may come to mind is food, right? Um, it's part of is woven into the tradition of Thanksgiving. Having Thanksgiving without having a big feast, a big meal prepared, is maybe synonymous to going to a car wash with no car. How's that? Going to a car wash with no car. So, the food is there. Now, what had happened from his story, the story of them, right? They say part of this Thanksgiving was due to giving thanks to the colonizers, the settlers that came to the land, America, and the harsh winter, and the native people of the land, indigenous people, helped them make it through with food and show them how to, get a harvest and things like that. So, way of giving thanks. So definitely food is involved. However, back then it was more natural, organic, you know, just thinking, projecting, way of growing foods. There was no Monsanto's back then. At any rate, even with so as we move up today, what we may have noticed is that a lot of the foods that are prepared, that are served in the grocery stores, are what may be called genetically modified, GMO. And so, um, with that being said, it may not be as beneficial for the body as it was in the past. So, what's it got to do with your health? Well, a whole lot, because generally speaking, if the food that you're eating, which we eat for nutrition, if the nutrition that we're taking in isn't providing adequate nutrition, enough nutrition, the proper nutrition for what the body needs, then the body will suffer. There will be some challenges, as opposed to being at ease, this ease, well known, right? So this is a caveat also, because the reason why this topic came up, as we still look to be split between this social media thing, still not sharing on Facebook, don't think. Anyway, because it didn't do the date thing, it was scheduled for yesterday and then change the date on the thing to the day. So it's not popping up live like it usually does. So we're just gonna go to YouTube and share it from YouTube, right? As we share, again, my person's um, how this came about, Thanksgiving, because this Thanksgiving, 2024, my person will be. How this came about, Thanksgiving. Oh. Because this Thanksgiving, go over here. My person will be. Oh. Oh, that's why we got these headphones. So yeah, so this Christmas, not Christmas, this Thanksgiving, my person will be going down, spending Thanksgiving dinner with the family, biological family, right? And it hadn't done this in years, a number of years, right? And so what that looks like is we're talking about decades, not just like 3-4 years. Decades have not been so-called celebrating Thanksgiving in decades. Reason being because sometimes on this spiritual journey, you know, we separate ourselves. But we don't do those things anymore. We don't do those things anymore any longer. No longer do we hang out and eat of the king's meat of the Thanksgiving with the turkey and the dressing and the stuffing and the macaroni and cheese and collard greens. They may have the smoked turkey necks up in there, the fat back, or you know, yeah. So, uh, my person was one of those people. That's what happened. That's what happened. It's separate. It's like, man, we don't deal with that the same way at one point it dealt with the religion, say Christianity, right? Same way at one point, my person was like, man, Christianity, we don't deal with Christianity now because it's been tampered with, it's been watered down, it's not, yada yada yada. All the excuses we had for not embracing um the beautiful love story of self that my person was introduced to, simply because it was shown it in a different way, right? It was shown it in a different way. So, and there's it bees that way sometimes. So back to this Thanksgiving thing, right? Thanksgiving. So being that haven't celebrated Thanksgiving been years with the family, and going down there, it's like, so what does that look like? How does it look like? First thing that came up is the food, right? Is the food. So how do you deal with that piece? Well, my person adds this to that, you know, not gonna not saying it's gonna be one way or the other. Not saying it's gonna be all strictly plant-based and no, it's not gonna eat that because it's got dairy, it's got what's it's got in it. It's not gonna be that way. And it's not gonna go all in and be like, well, we're gonna put our lifestyle on the shelf and just go all in with this one, right? So it's not gonna be neither one of those. It's gonna be in the middle. My person will be primarily engaging in its plant-based regimen, and it may taste something from time to time, depending upon as it remains calm and relaxed as much as possible. Whatever just says, looks like or feels like love is in there, or it looks good, we may, taste that and keep things moving. Then after that, on the back end, it may be good to get a detox and or fast in, right? And this is whether you go all in with the traditional Thanksgiving dinner, even if you do the plant based, because a lot of times we overdo it, and or it's so much food, we either eat more in general and or we eat later at night. So it's still and then the next day, so we don't really give the body enough time to process and assimilate what's there before adding more to it. So again, even the plant-based, a suggestion, it may be beneficial to do a fast or a detox, after the Thanksgiving holiday, right? So that was just real quick on the food piece. The food is there. It is the staple of Thanksgiving. So what do you do about that? It's free will, baby, free will. Again, just be mindful that a lot of the foods these days are genetically modified organisms, what we call GMO, and or full of hormones and things like that makes them not as beneficial for the body. So just keep that in mind. And with that, enjoy yourself as we transition to the second part of this Thanksgiving health correlation, right? Which is the metaphysical part of Thanksgiving. The portal of giving thanks, right? And, this is it. It is said in certain communities, certain philosophies, philosophers, mindsets, that love conquers all. Love is the highest vibration. Love cures all. Love is the answer to all things. That love vibration. And we're not talking about man's love that has conditions. We're speaking about the unconditional love, love without conditions, right? God's love. Some people say agape love. That love. In other words, some say that love, the agape love, the love of God, the love of this unconditional love of all, is the love that sustains the universe. It is the love that keeps the electron going around the neutron, you see, the electron. Just for the love of it, just for the love of it, just for the love of it, right? And so it is the magnetism, love that allows this being to be. Otherwise, pixels will be scattered out multiverse. But because of love, this unity, we come together in love as one to operate as one. Unity, love, right? And so looking at it from Thanksgiving perspective, regardless of how it was started, the love that's infused in that holiday is a very powerful portal. It's a very powerful portal. You know, even while some people, yours truly was one of those at one point in time on a different timeline, you know, on a different timeline, even if you're one of the ones that say, don't resonate with it down. I don't mess with Thanksgiving. You celebrate Thanksgiving? No, we don't celebrate Thanksgiving. We do Friendsgiving. That's another thing. These days, Friendsgiving is a thing that pops up. So again, it's back to that love thing, that love portal. Friendsgiving. My person really digs Friendsgiving. They did that a couple of times. And for those who may not be as familiar with Friendsgiving, let us take a moment to share what this Friendsgiving thing is, because it's quite powerful. It is the epitome of what we're speaking about now, this love things, right? Friendsgiving. You know, some say, you know, your family is given to you. You choose your friends. You choose your friends, and your family is what you dealt with, what you get, what you come with, right? Which makes Friendsgiving powerful, because Friendsgiving is the coming together of friends around the Thanksgiving season, Thanksgiving holiday. And unlike traditional family, a lot of times when families come together for these major holidays, whether it be Christmas and annual Thanksgiving, you know, there's a lot of times there's some tension that goes down. And from my personal experience with Friendsgiving, it's just the opposite. Again, because it's something that we chose, whereas opposed with Thanksgiving, a lot of times we're doing it out of obligation. You know, whenever you do something out of obligation in general, this is a principle involved. When doing something out of obligation and lacking joy or pleasure, you know, gratitude, any of those things for doing it just simply out of obligation, the energy that comes back from that may not be as satisfying, you know, because the energy that's going in isn't full energy. And so the outcome may not be a full outcome. Some may say half-ass or half job, or you didn't put your all into it, these kind of things. So, yeah, we don't want to get too far from that. We on the Friendsgiving. So when we speak about Friendsgiving, we really putting our all into that, because we really don't want to be here, because these are the people that we chose, that we have, you know. That's different than people that we are obligated to be with, though, just because we have from the same family, same mommy, same daddy, we got to be with you. It's a different vibration. So from a non-physical perspective, energetic, metaphysical perspective, there is a powerful portal of love during the season. And the same as back to the food, you know, growing up, my person was taught you, before you begin eating your food, you will say grace. Say grace. Or say your prayers, you know, say your prayers, say grace. Give thanks for the food. And in the process of giving thanks for the food that you're eating, the process of transmutation begins. You know, the love, the appreciation of love sent in energy form to the intention is felt by the food, and the vibration shifts. It's, you know, it may be major or minor depending upon, you know, your level of intention, sincerity, and things like that. However, it does change the vibration of the food. So, and that's something that my person, practice from time to time, even not on the Thanksgiving holiday. It calls it doing the Lazarus or the Lazarus effect, you know, simply performing Reiki on food, and or just looking at raising the dead, hence Lazarus raising the dead. Because if we look at the foods that come from, well, if it's cooked, it's dead anyway, right? As opposed to eating raw or live foods. So if the food is dead, what we're saying is that if you pick a fruit from the tree, from the vegetables, pick it right here, it still have the life force. The same as when someone transitioned, physical death. Once they death, they say the spirit leaves the body. Even though the spirit leaves, the body's still warm for a little while. There's some still moving for a while, and then they all the way rigor mortis set in, dead. And so when you pick a fruit or eat stuff from the tree, there's some time when that life force is still there. So it's live. When we eat the dead food, we cook it. We put it on there in 300 degrees or 250, whatever the cooking temperature is. And some people like it well done, a little burnt on there. So we know that joke is dead, right? So when we say personally, my person does this, says grace, put your hands like this and breathe and relax. Is energetically resuscitating the food. It's putting some energy in it, baby, putting that chi in it. So once we eat it, we're getting some chi, because that chi going to do its thing. And based upon what the particular food is, the chi will be catered to enhance whatever nutritional value or whatever that frequency is. So, it's metaphysics and alchemy at its best, which is what all life is: metaphysics and alchemy. Transmutation, transforming, being intentional with the energy around you. You dig? And it makes a big difference. So yeah, Thanksgiving got the food piece and we got the portal piece on just simple love. And so even as we come up close to it, the same as Christmas, that spirit is there. That spirit is there. So one suggestion would be, especially for those who may be more, not as celebratory of Thanksgiving, as the saying goes, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. If there's a way to look at just the spirit of people in general, haven't seen family, relatives, friends, and in a while. Some's been less than a year, some been more than a year. Some been more than 10 years, like yours truly, like a decade. Not since seeing them, but just seeing them in that context when so many together. A family reunion, a mini reunion, in a sense. So the love is there. And during this day and time, as I say, the climate in our society could use just a little bit more love from more of us, mores, right? There. At any rate, yeah, a little the society environment could use a little bit more love. So as this Thanksgiving season approach, a reminder, suggestion to approach it will just appreciating the love that humanity is sharing. Most, if not all, is sharing. So, yep, that's that. We wind down here, which includes the food piece. So whether you go for those who are plant-based and stay plant-based, of course, and enjoy that love that you're for self, that you have for self, and preparation and the being intentional about what goes into your body. And for those who may choose to, do the traditional Thanksgiving thing, baby, hey, free will, enjoy that. Remember, if it resonates, say your grace, do some energetic entanglement, before you, be thankful. Really, really get off into that thankfulness, shift the vibration of the food as you begin to eat. So, and of course, those like my person, someone in the middle, It's the same thing because we love both sides. We love this and that. So, doorbell. I think it's a package. Oh yeah, it must be Amazon. Had a package being delivered, so there was a doorbell. Someone just coming, got the package off. Well, 12:26. This is about a half-hour transmission, and I think that should be about it. Some short and sweet sharing on this Metaphysical Mondays on a Tuesday. And my person again just sharing its perspective on Thanksgiving season and how it will be engaging energetically to ensure that it is maintaining an engagement from a perspective of love. And not just any love, unconditional love. Right on, right on. And with that, just want to remind everyone that if these types of discussions are stimulating, motivating, encouraging, and it does something to you, tune in more on Sundays. There's the soulful discussion, 11 a.m. And then if you're in the DMV area, Washington, D.C. area in person, my person will be in the Temple Mother Earth here in the D.C. area, Southeast Washington, D.C. on the second and fourth Fridays. And also Mondays, there's a potluck on Monday. And Wednesday, there's game night and hopping night. So, if it resonates or be engaged in a spiritual community such as this, that engages in such discussions such as this while having lots of fun, with maybe a little plant medicine, plant teacher, sacrament here and there, come on through the temple. And also if anything that you would like more clarity on, feel free to leave a comment, or if you would like more like a specific topic talked about, leave a comment. Love engaging that way. And also spiritual counseling sessions are available. This is an FYI. Still looking to update the website to have it more not as much user friendly, but update the services, because as a practitioner, we go, once it's done, we kind of, a lot of times we forget about, say, okay, got a website, because we're about that, we're about being creative, we're about moving as far as maintaining up-to-date pictures, services, prices. Just some of us not really wired for that. Yours truly. So just saying, we get around to it. It's all well and good. All right, good people, until we commune again, until we engage again in such a way. We could have just did go live right here. We just got it on the thing. So at any rate, love you guys. Until we come together again, enjoy all of your creations and the best of thoughts to you. Indeed, indeed. Right on, right on. As we throw our theme song on here. Get up out of here. Get up out of here. You won't know who I am from what you perceive. You dig? You won't know